Hey guys, this is Jay Lethal, the Blank Machismo, and whoa, the Nature Boy, and you're listening to the Potsy and Tino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings you the tag team champions of the world famous Potsy and Tino show. That's right, we've got Tino Gray, we've got Rob Potsy Pochek.
He's bringing up Top Dollar and Adonis, Ashante the Adonis, the two from the other two except the girl. Cool.
They might bring her too.
Yeah.
She might be the surprise. So we've already got a comment in the audience. What's going on, Joe Lowe?
Joe
Lowe, do me a favor, send me your address on Twitter so that I can go ahead and try to get that hollow foil cover out to you this weekend. I did not get it out there last week. I apologize. Hollow foil.
Popeye's wife. Olive oil.
Did you just say a cuckold?
Popeye's wife.
Yeah. There you go. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the Potsy and Tino show. Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam Sasscats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. And, of course, you just heard Jay Lethal bringing us in. We didn't really talk about Ric Flair's last match, did we?
Did we? I know we talked. Did we talk about it on or off air?
I don't know, but, there's been revelations that have come out since.
His old ass passed out in the middle of the ring.
Yep, so...
apparently, Andrade calls him sir. Like, sir, you have to get up. Sir, I have to knuckles. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Not Rick, not Mr. Flair, not Dad. Sir.
Sir, you need to wake up, sir. Sir, please wake up.
Sir.
So, Tino,
yo,
you're in the house tonight.
In the house.
The Pots and Pans studio, if you will.
I was gonna say Screwdio, but that's not that.
Well, it's been like 2 years since there's been a Primitive Screwheads episode. So, but we always start the show with a little thing called "What's Up with You."
What's up with you? Let's see. What's up with me? What did I do last weekend? Everything's running together. I'm getting old. I chilled at home last weekend. I do not think I had a show last weekend. I do have a show this weekend, Saturday. I'll be in Hickory, Saturday night. So not much happened this week.
I think you did have one Saturday, because wasn't that the one where it was raining on everybody?
No, that was the week before.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. Me and Hickory this week. My mom's birthday was Tuesday, so I got to go hang out with her. She turned 71 years young. And then, I was telling you off air, I had to go to the doctor, and they put me on the EKG, and everything's all right. I was giving myself I think it was just pretty much anxiety type. Thought something else was wrong, so they put me in the EKG. Says fine. I am going to make an appointment to go see a cardiologist. Hopefully all's well, but other than that, I'm hunky-dory.
Katie is in the audience. Hello, Katie. Are we still going out Saturday night?
Of course, I'll be out of town. Of course, you're going Saturday night.
Well, I mean, she said that she's having a hard time finding a babysitter anyway. But so.
That is good.
See, after you let it water down a little bit with the ice, because we're drinking. I don't even. You know what? I got a picture of it because I sent it to my buddy Matt, who also drinks bourbon. It is called Stellum Bourbon. It was the gold medal bourbon from San Francisco in 2021.
Are you? And off the top, I was wandering around the mall Wednesday. Are you? And I didn't even go in there to look. So I was on a mission to get in and out. But I did see an Ultimate Comics in the mall. Are you in the mall?
My comics?
Yeah. I didn't have a chance to go in.
So
I know you did. You with Ultimate Comics, but I didn't know if it was that one.
No. So I do most of my signings and stuff at them. Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
It's actually their 19th birthday this month.
Cool.
So they've got another one in Raleigh off of Capitol Boulevard. That's the one I typically go to. Katie says she has no babysitters. So does that mean we're going out tomorrow night instead, Katie? Let's see what she says.
Survey says.
Because I think we actually have Corey and James going on Saturday if we actually have a group. Side quest.
A little side quest.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
So Joe, I like Bullet as well, but I like trying all of the bourbons that I can get my hands on. So of course I
usually don't drink bourbon unless I'm with this guy here.
Yeah. So Tino, how in depth do you want me to go with what's going on with me?
Well, seeing how we probably didn't watch much wrestling, and Katie wants to be Katie to be on it for a while. We'll go in depth with you. She answered you. I can't see it from here.
She said I don't have a babysitter back in town until Sunday night.
Wow.
Man. Anyways.
So what's up with you?
So in my personal life, a lot has transpired over the past couple weeks, and a lot of self enlightenment, if you will. I realize, and I've now had other people tell me this, and Tino's probably told me this for years at this point, but I don't listen. That I always try to find something wrong, no matter what the situation is, and I'm actively trying to combat that. Last week on the show, I sat there and I said, "Man, I got John Cena to follow me on Twitter. That was freaking awesome, right?" And then I said the very next day, I met Kevin Smith and got a hug from him. That was awesome. But what was the first thing I said to you right after all that?
Something bad's going to happen.
Something is going to set this off the rails. And lo and behold, something went off the rails. Now, I'm not going to go into that or anything else, but
you kind of put that in the atmosphere. I truly believe in, if you
will it to be, it will happen.
Yes.
So, yeah, but I didn't want that to happen. I would have been okay with stubbing my toe or, like.
Yeah, but you willed something. You like something bad's going to happen. You should just stopped it before that.
That's just.
And
that's just me.
Over 20 years that I've known you, you've always been like that. So
Hunter is trying to get you to watch a movie with him. When? On Sunday? Or tonight?
Well, we're busy tonight.
Yeah, we're doing the show right now, so you got at least an hour with us before you watch a movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm gonna turn that on its ear and I'm gonna play the flip side of it, okay? And that's, I don't feel like every time something positive happens or you will something and want something positive that it happens. Like, I totally get the negativity thing. You can always bring negative energy out, but you don't always get positive from believing that something good's going to happen.
I always try just to be positive, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And you're right, but it doesn't always work out. But I also don't what did she say right now?
Yeah, she said right now. But so you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that like, yes, you can always, like, you can sit there and go, man, I'm in such a bad mood, whatever, and then all of a sudden you get pulled over and it makes it worse.
Yes.
And that type of stuff happens because
Yes.
when you feel bad, you speed or you drink and drive, or like any number of different things that you think are medicating or whatever can actually cause dissonance and everything else with it. At the same time, like be trying to be positive stuff. Like prime example, the people that are watching our show, and maybe Katie just dropped off because it now says we have one less viewer.
Oh. She usually says bye.
Yeah, you're right. The people that watch our show like us.
Yes.
They think, and I would think that they think highly of us.
I keep coming back. So.
Well, I mean, Joe's here every week now, and I met him last year in Kentucky.
Barrett's here
a
lot. Barrett, not tonight, but yeah.
Barrett's typically here, and we've even let him on the show for from time to time at this point. Joe says he's still here, so Katie dropped off. She must be having a fight. But they almost all of them sit there and speak highly of us, say nice things about like our art forms and everything else, you know, like, and it boggles my mind, okay, because I'm like, I write a kid's book about farts, you know, and yet people like it.
You don't know how to take a compliment either, and that's the thing. You don't know how to take a compliment, and you don't, and you when you wrote this today, I'm like, yeah, that's true too. You don't understand why people like you or people compliment you or say nice things about you is because you know you're not an asshole like you think you are.
She just messaged me on my phone and says, and I'm watching a movie with Doo-Doo Head. So she has dropped off the thing. For those that haven't seen the message that Tino's talking about that I posted, I might as well read it to the group. And the reason why is because I do feel like this is true, and that I am trying to make changes about my personality and how I act and react to what people say.
Well, you ask me all the time, and I tell you, you don't listen. I mean, I only went to school for 4 years of a psych degree.
Yeah, but I don't believe you actually got that psych degree.
People who know me and know not put up with your punk ass for over 20 years say, yes, he must have something.
Well, so all right. So I'm going to read it, okay? My personality is one that always tends to look at things wrongly. I always try to find the reason to be upset rather than the reason to be happy. Last night, a friend looked me in the eye and told me this, and truth is, I'd come to the realization a couple days ago. Or at least I looked hard in the mirror at it. When I stopped thinking of I dislike my job and started thinking my job affords me my pleasures, a calmness came over me. And in fact, in my personal life, when I started thinking about like what I had going for me, and this isn't written here, but when I started thinking about what I've got going for me, it really set me at ease, which is crazy because I'm never at ease about anything. I'm trying to make a change. It's very difficult when you've lived 40 plus years one way to think differently, act differently, and be different. I appreciate all the friends and loved ones that care about me, and I'm not asking why about that anymore. I'm just going to try to say thank you for it. I've lived, been places, and done things that people tell me are amazing, and I've dwelled on what the issue was rather than enjoyed the moment or the ride. I want to make this change. I want to enjoy these moments, and I love you for being there with me and for me. You really are amazing people, every one of you that watches the show, and you, Tino. You really are amazing people, and seeing the best in someone who doesn't see it in themselves. So that's what I wrote today, kind of like as an affirmation that I am going to try to be better in my personal life, and enjoy the things that are going for me. So with that, this week, Junior High Horrors, Strangest Things Forever is out in stores. There's all the different versions of it right there.
You want it?
You can hand me one.
Oh, they're all stacked.
Yeah, they're all still stacked together. So Junior High Horrors, Strangest Things Forever is available in stores as of yesterday. And here are just a couple of the different covers of it.
That's cool. Shit, sorry.
Yeah. Don't knock the table over.
Sorry.
And of course the main cover.
I think that's the same.
Yeah, that's the same. So, enjoying the ride. I've already said that this probably is the last issue of Junior High Horrors in terms of new storylines and everything else, at least for a while. Eric, the artist of it, Joe already knows this, is actually working on a new book called Psychotron, and will also be working on another book with me, but he is starting his Psychotron Kickstarter campaign. So that book will be available.
Can we talk about, because you put it on Facebook, so I don't know if that means that you're willing to put it out here. You started writing for that other thing that we were talking about. Can you talk about? So how's that going?
So I'll get to that. I want to read what Joe just wrote. He says, think positive and positive things will happen. What I do personally is if I can't control the situation, I don't stress about it. what's going to happen anyways. And yeah, I can see that, and I agree to a degree. I do think that some things that have a negative effect in certain areas, you still can affect one way or another by doing something about them. So I think that there's wiggle room with all of it, and I'm not trying to back out of my statement or anything, but I do feel like there are times where I'm still gonna be that way. I'm
That's what we said. That's what we said before we got on. I was telling him, I mean, you're human. You're trying. Are you going to fall? Are you going to stumble? Yeah. But you just got to get up, dust stuff off, and start over and try it again.
Yeah. So the other thing that you asked about. So obviously, I'm working on other projects as well. We announced Immortal at San Diego Comic-Con coming back, and I've started seeing little snippets of artwork from it, which is getting me really excited because it just makes me want to write more of that story. But I'm working on the Witch in the Walls, which is one of the Exit 49 stories. And that one, I've been designing all the characters. If you're paying attention on my, look at who it is. It's Mr. Helios. What's up, T?
Yo.
T, if you want to be part of the wrestling conversation, let me know. If you're off, I can send you a link. It's been fun because I'm involving my friends from Ruckus as like making them the names of the 20-something-year-old characters.
I wasn't a part of it at all.
You don't want to be one of the dead characters.
Oh, sure.
And I already have a token.
Good night, folks. I'm going home.
But you don't want to be one of the characters that dies.
No.
Yeah, see? So
the one token that you got that I know of, he's going to die first, isn't he?
That would be the trope, wouldn't it? Anyway, the whole thing is going to be about 7 20-something-year-olds, like 21, 22, all deciding to go off this exit to a haunted house that pretty much a witch died in 200 years ago, and after it was burned down, it actually showed back up the next day, and since then it's basically been left alone. But
it's going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait.
But kids seem to want to be, always trying to figure out like whether or not it's really haunted or whatever. So that'll be the first story in the Exit 49 stuff. Because it's one of those stories that, like, I've said it in the past about different junior high horrors books. Like, sometimes they just come to you and you write them. Like when I wrote issue 5, which was called The Fart. Mm-hmm. I wrote the entire thing in like an hour and a half.
Oh, damn.
And it literally just all came to me, and I was sitting there like, and I just, I was done, and I was like, yes, that's exciting. And even like The Walking Flu was a pretty quick issue for me to write. It wasn't an hour and a half like The Fart was. But it was one of those. Oh, Chris Barrett's in the audience now too. Mm-hmm. What's up, Chris Barrett? So I'm writing that. I've been designing the characters for it. Even talked to my friend Hannah about doing a cover for it because she's got like more of a creepy art style to her. So she draws like creepy Pokemon and stuff. So I was like, yeah, you ought to do a cover for it. Have like the witch like reaching out of the wall and stuff like at one of the kids. And then from there, like right now, I've started talking to this college kid who wants to draw it. So we'll see how that goes. I like his art, so I'm kind of excited about it. But I want to get the story done before I actually send it to the artist. I'm going to send him the sketches of the characters and everything so that he can start trying to get designs for them in his style out there. Yeah, so that one's moving along. And then the orders just came in for Junior High Horror's monster-sized anniversary special. So the orders came in for that. We thought it was going to be like a dud, because like 2 weeks ago, the orders, when they first started coming in, we were like, oh God, this like we're gonna take a bath on this one.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like, so orders had to be in by Monday, and orders like tripled on it.
Shit.
And
And that's just, was that just all of them in one?
So no, this is no, the one that you ordered off of Amazon still isn't coming. But it is. Remember how I told you that the first 2 issues, you know, obviously we had a different artist on the first one.
Yeah.
Eric went back and actually redrew that first issue in his style for the book.
Mm.
So and Billy came back to actually color it and everything else. So it's going to have a consistency to it, but it's actually a reprinting of those first 2 books because people can't find them. They're sold out. Yeah, they're sold out at this point. So and I'll even remind everybody that the first, so in comic books, typically you have your first issue come out and you get like, all right, we got sales, you know, like this book's actually making money, blah blah blah, and then the second issue gets ordered and it's like here,
right,
and you're like, shit, like how many issues are we going to be able to last? Well, when Junior High Horrors came out, and we you know spaced it out every other month, the orders for the second issue had to be in the week that the first issue came out. Well, the first issue sold out that first week. So everybody who had to order the second issue was like, well, shit, I should order this. So instead of having like a 50% drop off on it, it only had like a 10% drop off on it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so like movies and stuff typically have a 50 to 60% drop off in the second weekend after the first weekend, right? So comics are very similar. You have a massive drop because a lot of times if you're doing a monthly book or whatever, you don't know how well the first book's going to sell by the time you have to order the second one, right? So we set it up to be every other month, kind of for a reason there, and it worked. You know, and even the third issue only saw a slight drop off because that was the one that, you know, was the walking flu. And you know, by issue 8, you know, numbers finally dropped off, but there were a couple issues where all of a sudden you saw a little like upswings, right? Mm-hmm. And then ever since we started doing the specials, the book actually started moving back up. So we were getting like, you know, where some issues we you know, issue 8 was probably the lowest issue ordered with like 800 unit sales. Mm-hmm. But then all of a sudden the April Fool special came out and it was like 1,200 unit sales. Damn. And then the next one came out, it was like 1,400 unit sales. You know, and it just kept going up, and it was like, I don't know why, but okay. And then this one, you know, we didn't expect good sales. We expected it to like be a book that I'll be able to sell at shows more than anything else. But we still offered it to the comic shops and everything else because, you know, it's the first time those first 2 issues are dyslexia friendly. It's the first time that the artwork has actually all been Eric's rather than, you know, so like lots of little things like that really changed the way that book could be looked at going forward. You know, because now if and when we finally do get that collected version of the book out, that collected version is going to have Eric's art in that first issue, not the original artist. Okay. So anyways, with all that. So that book is, you had to have orders in this week to be able to get it, but it'll be out in stores. It's supposed to be early September, second week of September, something like that. So as long as the printer has paper, we will have that out on time. At the same time, obviously...
My book will never come in, will it?
I won't say never, but until printers outside the United States or printers inside the United States have enough paper to do it, I don't know when it's coming. I don't. Even Britney Spears just got told that her book can't be printed right now because there's not enough paper.
There's trees. Cut down trees, get some paper. Let's go.
It's not that easy. Anyways, but you know, so that's coming out in September. Immortal's probably going to be sometime, hopefully early 2023. We really want to get a couple issues in the can before we publish it.
Okay.
So who knows what like at this point, I would say after the anniversary special, you might not see any more books from me this year. Which is what it is. Like I'm going to continue writing this horror story. I'm going to continue writing Immortal, and you know the the earlier the better we can get Immortal in, like early 2023. I'll be excited. So we'll see how that goes. The only other thing that I might try to do is I might try to do like a covers of junior high horrors, like Kickstarter or something.
Yeah.
So that way somebody who wants just like a book with all the covers from it, like I'm going to see if the publisher will let me put out a book like that and see if it'll do okay. I don't expect it to do a lot of money, but I do think that like if I were to make it like an oversized book or whatever, then maybe people would buy it because they could cut out the pages that they wanted and use them as posters or whatever else, so that kind of stuff. But I also think that that'd be another thing that would sell pretty well at like horror conventions. So, and then of course, I am already writing the next book that Eric and I will be working on together. Letting him do a Psychotron thing for right now. Joe wants to know, is Immortal new run going to be set right after the events? So that is a great question, and the answer is no.
So you said this is going to be the prequel, right? Kind of.
No. So just to give everybody a heads up with what I'm doing with that, 30 years have passed, so it's going to be set in modern times. And the reason why I'm doing that is because as much fun as it would be to continue the story directly off, I really wanted to see how these characters are doing 30 years later. And so when I originally wrote it,
the original
Immortal. When I originally wrote that,
I didn't read that one. I need to find
it. Yeah, good luck. No, I've got copies of it. I could probably run upstairs and grab you some after the show's over. But so the original story, when I originally wrote it, I wrote it in 1997.
Yeah.
Right. But then when we put the book out, we put it out in 2017. So 20 years later, and
was the one you wrote 97.
Well, but what I did was I actually went back and rewrote the script. So we used all the same artwork and rewrote the script. So it was like a 90s nostalgia piece.
Okay.
Instead of, because like you look at the flip phones and everything that the characters had, it's like, what the hell is this set? Like this isn't current,
Right.
So I couldn't sit there and try to rewrite the script for 2017. So we actually made it a 90s book. And there's like, because I'm a wrestling fan, there's Elisa's sitting there talking about whether or not people watch WCW or WWE and stuff like that. It's like when Hulk Hogan won the title and went to the NWO and that kind of stuff. But to answer Joe's question, the new Immortal series is going to be set now because when I wrote that first one, I wanted to create a way to restart the world so that way I didn't have to worry about like current events and all this other stuff. So I did that. And Joe, you bought Immortal, didn't you? Or did you just get like the first issue of it? I'll let him answer while I talk about this. But the reset of the world was because like the bad guy in it ends up putting something in the water that causes people that drank the water to like basically become like zombies and shit like that. And in it, it's going to be fun to see what. Yeah. So and some of the characters haven't seen each other in so long that when they finally do come back into play, you're like, oh, I wonder how this is going to, this interaction is going to be. He's got the collected. Okay, cool. So because of that, like I'll put it this way: when you first see Elisa, there's actually a brand new Immortal that's running from this group called the Forge. And these guys are all coming after her with guns and knives and everything else. And she doesn't even know what's going on because she pretty much just woke up in a morgue and she's like, what the fuck's going on, right? So she runs into a library. Well, Joe's read the first series, so he knows that Elisa works in a library. And the reason why is because then she can study the other Immortals and actually keep tabs on all of them and everything else in the library. Plus, she can also play with records and things like that, so she could actually be someone else. So, of course, the girl runs into the library, and it just happens to be Elisa's library. And unlike the first series, where she's very, very defensive, she's taken a much different approach to it now.
Okay.
Let's just say I'm very influenced by John Wick now when it comes to this series. And I've already been telling Rob, the artist of it, I'm like, Rob, we're gonna have to see some really cool beheadings, okay? Like really cool shit.
And Artie's back too, right? You said Artie's back.
Yes, Artie's back in it. I'm not gonna tell everybody who all the characters are. There is even a plan to possibly make the new Immortal, like it's a female character, but there's going to be like the possibility of kickstarting and people actually paying for the naming rights of that character, so that if they want it named after their daughter, or they want that character named after their mom or whatever, like they can buy the rights to name that character. I always liked that idea. So I thought that, like they're not going to get visual like representation or anything. The character's going to look like what we intend them to look like, but you'll be able to name the character or even possibly have like your face drawn in the back of one of the, backgrounds of the characters and stuff like that. So some cool stuff that, because I am thinking that kickstarting it to kind of make sure that both myself and the artist actually, get properly compensated for the book, as well as be able to do some cool stuff like holofoil covers or anything like that. There was one other thing I was going to say about it. So I don't want to ruin who all shows back up in it, because like those moments are like, if they happen, are supposed to be those cool moments where it's like, I had no idea it was you, like that kind of, So Joe, I have all 4 issues. If you want the singles as well, I know that I'm going to be sending you the holofoil. I could always throw them in there. Because when you met me, I did not have the single issues. In fact, I think I only had like 3 copies of the trade with me at that horror show. Unless you found the trade elsewhere. But anyways, so yeah, that's what's going on with me with the comics. One other thing I want to talk about before we get into pro wrestling. Show on Netflix, Sandman.
Yeah, I saw you put a post about it on Facebook. What is it?
So hold on, I'll go get something to show you what it is. As I drop phones and everything else on the floor. At least that's already the cracked phone, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know where everything's going, but
yeah, you keep talking.
Oh, okay. So I don't know what to talk about. He's been talking for the past. I'm ready to talk about wrestling, some things that I'm excited about and interested in getting into and getting to wrestling. Rob apparently has something behind me. What the hell was that?
This right here is the absolute Sandman. It's the first. I want to say this is first 12 issues.
And what is it?
It's all dusty. It's supposed to have a dust jacket. What the hell?
Yeah, it does. The jacket of dust.
So Sandman is man, even the pages on this thing are amazing. This is when DC Comics decided to make adult comics.
Right.
And when I say adult, I don't mean nudity, and I mean some of them did have nudity, some of them had bad language, but it was like writing for
like graphic novels.
Yeah, but writing for adults, like so people that would read Stephen King novels and things like that, right? So Sandman was one of the first ones. As I try to get back in here, my fat ass. And it's by Neil Gaiman, same guy that did American Gods. He did a movie called Stardust at one point. He basically created these different realms, okay? And one of them's death, one of them's Lucifer, the devil, one of them is Dream, who is Morpheus, Sandman, Desire, a bunch of other ones. And they all have their realms that they lead over. Well, the beginning of the story is that this group of people that have lost somebody are trying to cast a spell to capture death. If they capture death, they'll be able to sit there and talk death into bringing back their kids that have died, and then let them go. Is what the plan is. Instead, though, he captures Death's brother, Dream, Morpheus, and he's kept in like this sphere for like 100 years. Okay, and during that time, everybody who was asleep falls into a coma because he's the king of dreams.
Okay.
So they basically call it the dream coma or something like that. And so the show is about him finally getting out after 100 years, having to find his lost items, and then also having to go out and capture the dreams that have left. So the nightmares and everything else that have actually left the realm and just decided, I'm going to walk the earth.
Right.
One of them is called the Corinthian, and he becomes a serial killer.
Okay.
And during it, like, one of the craziest concepts, because it's in the comic as well. Like they adapted the comic extremely well. I don't know if the beer drinking, cigarette smoking, cane swinging legend. No, not the Sandman. Chris Barrett. But Joe also said that it's awesome. Hack finally got his own show. Hardcore Hack finally got his own show. Interestingly enough, so the changes made in the comic versus the TV show, like they definitely diversified the cast.
Right.
So like Dream and Death in the comic are very pale white characters wearing black hair, whatever. And yet in the TV show, they made Death a young black lady. Totally fits the character based on how she acts it and everything else. But even just the sequences where those two characters interact with each other, it's just amazing to watch them do it. But the Corinthian, like, there's this side story going through the entire series about how, like, these serial killers want him to be the commencement speaker at a serial killer convention, which is just called the Cereal Convention, but it's spelled like cereal, the food. Obviously, because you can't sit there and say a serial killer convention. So I won't go into too much of it, but dude, the show is absolutely phenomenal. Like I want to watch it again already.
You already how many episodes were there? 10.
Oh,
you already watched them all?
It's Netflix, man. Like,
is it Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Showtime. That's why I was looking on.
No,
Max.
No. That one's Netflix.
Okay.
And it's
I'm add it to my list.
It's. I mean, like, as soon as you start it, you're not going to want to stop it.
Okay.
The casting is phenomenal. The characters are great. Anybody who's read the comic, for the most part, has been like, this is amazing. As long as they get past the diversifying of the casting choices or whatever.
I don't care about all that.
No, you won't, because you haven't read the book, so you wouldn't care anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna add it to my list.
Yes.
Okay.
And there, that's really all I wanted to talk about up until and Evil's season finale is Sunday.
Uh-oh.
And I'm disappointed because I really feel like they've dropped the ball this season. It's been good, but I like the whole Leland and Kristen thing, you know, right. like Michael Emerson is just this evil son of a bitch, and you love him for it. And he's been like such a bit role this season. Now there have been some other cool things that have gone on, like I want to say in the second season they had a girl that was like prophesizing stuff, and then the Catholic Church like stole her, and now like they finally brought her back overseas to here, and she's actually like still prophesizing stuff. Yeah, so that's really cool. Don't blow my cover, Chris. So last thing about Sandman is like characters like John Constantine, who you've seen in like Legends of Tomorrow, or even the show Constantine, or even the Keanu Reeves movie Constantine. They've recast her as Joanna Constantine.
Okay.
Constantine, actually, because that's how you're supposed to say the name if you're British. And the only time they ever called him that with the Matt Ryan version of it, who was on Legends of Tomorrow and all that stuff, was when Lucifer crossed over from the Lucifer TV show.
I have to go back and finish watching that.
And yeah, so do I. It's funny. I always want to go back and finish watching it, but then I'm like, I really don't want it to end.
Yeah.
So, although even who they bring in as God is just great casting. So, but anyway, Tino, a lot of wrestling happened. What was that?
Yeah, man. I'm like, I watch so much wrestling. I get them all together, and I just forget what the fuck I watch. But
well, we've got 2 weeks worth of this to go through, and I don't really watch it. So
I know that they started the new. They started a new, trying to find a new women's tag team. So they started a new tournament for that. I know that Zoe Stark came back, and she's the number 1 contender for Mandy Rose.
She's also in the women's tag team tournament.
Yeah. I take that back. They've already got new tag team champions.
It's not Casey Catanzaro anymore. It's whatever they call her now.
So it's her and
Tatum Carter.
Yeah, so it's those two. So Toxic Attraction are no longer tag team champions. This coming week, Zoe Stark gets her title shot at Mandy Rose. So I'm wondering, because I think they're talking about pulling Toxic Attraction up. So I'm wondering, she loses her title, they don't have the titles anymore, so they're on their way up.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Just like
you bring them up as a group.
I would. I think. Well, I've already thought that what you're going to see is more cohesive storytelling of who you bring up and how you bring them up.
Yeah.
So like Braun Breaker is going to come up as Braun Breaker. He's not going to, suddenly be John Stamos.
Yeah.
He wouldn't anyway, but he doesn't have the hair for it.
But I'm wondering if they're going to let these people, like they gave Hector Garza, or one of them, or
Angel Garza.
They gave him his name back. So I wonder if they're going to go back to Theory's going to go back to Austin Theory. I wonder if they're going to go back. Ciampa might go back to Tommaso Ciampa. I don't think I want them to change the Ciampa. I want him to bring his fucking music back. That song fit him, dude.
It did.
But I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No. I think what we're probably going to see is Triple H actually send other people down to NXT,
which would be fine with it.
There's
like a swap, like bring some up and take some down, or just.
I think if he does things correctly, like we're obviously getting close to where the draft would be, which is normally the first week of October.
Their season premiere, so that's September, right?
Maybe.
Remember they have their season premieres.
Yeah, exactly. In my estimation, with that type of thing, if you're going to do call ups, like drafting, I would actually. So what I would do is I would sit there and say, for every 2 picks SmackDown gets, every 3 picks Raw gets, NXT gets a pick. That way.
What I would do is bring that, but also while you're sending the new talent up. Send some of the, I don't say the older talent, but some of the veterans out so they can help build their NXT, like they did with Apollo, like they did with Mandy, you know what I'm saying?
Or anybody that you feel has fallen off. Like, for example, Lacey Evans. Like, Vince was a huge fan of hers. Triple H does not appear to be a huge fan of hers. So there's rumors that until she's actually working at the level that they want her to, send her back down to NXT.
I was hearing too, a lot of Vince's choices aren't going to they're probably going to be in trouble, like Omos. They probably won't push Omos. They said Theory, while he's good, he's still not good enough probably to be in that main event, so he'll probably be losing that briefcase.
I don't know.
And they said the same thing about Charlotte. He was, he's high on Charlotte, so I wouldn't mind him sending Charlotte back down to NXT.
Well, no, he is high on Charlotte.
Not Triple H. Vince was.
Yeah, but Charlotte was still a Triple H project first. Mm-hmm. So I
don't think she's going to be in the title picture as much as she was with Vince.
I mean, she'll be in the title picture anytime that they think that they need a heel as the champion, right? And right now they've got Bailey in that role as well. They've got, I guess, Ronda Rousey's becoming that role again. Shayna Baszler now all of a sudden is getting a nice little.
What did I say a couple weeks ago?
Well, we knew it.
But I didn't think it was happening that quick. Just like Ricochet all of a sudden's coming back.
Okay.
Triple H.
So I'm gonna point this out. You want to know what that really is? That's not just Triple H's influence. That's the talent that the internet community likes.
Well, they're starting. I think you're gonna push Kofi again.
That's fine. But my point is that
he's listening to the.
Yeah, he's looking at what the people like on AEW, and he's using the talent that he has that could be that kind of talent. Like, for example, Ricochet. If Ricochet's contract had ended or he'd been released, he'd be on AEW today.
Oh yeah.
The fact that he stayed there and was able to keep a decent enough position on the card to where they kept him probably just satisfied enough to sign another contract. Like now, because there was rumor that his contract was up at the end of last year, and yet he's still in WWE. Like, so is it possible that Johnny Ace actually gave him more money? I don't know, because they didn't give Cesaro the money. And I'll tell you right now, if Cesaro had stayed, he might be fighting for the championship tomorrow. At the same time,
I think a lot of those people.
At the same time, though, that's what I'm trying to say is like a Ricochet or a Charlotte. A Charlotte has been unhappy for as long as she has. Oh, I want to be with Manny. I want to be with Manny. I want to, like whatever. Like, he's gonna do what he can to make them happy, right? But he's doing it for multiple reasons. He's doing it because he wants them to stay, because he needs good wrestling talent to actually portray the product. But he also wants to make a splash to those other people whose 3-year contracts in AEW are probably coming up. That he sits there and he goes, man, if I could get Malachi Black to come back.
Buddy, even Buddy, he's
now. Granted, those guys, I have a feeling signed 5-year contracts.
Is it Miro?
I think Miro's definitely signed a 5-year.
Do you think he'll try to get the Undisputed Era to come back?
Tony Khan basically went on record as saying Adam Cole signed a 5-year deal. So will he try to get them back? Sure, 4 years from now.
Okay. Well, there's talk that
there's only one guy that I don't think is ever coming back to the WWE as long as Triple H is in power. CM Punk.
Oh, yeah.
Because Triple H buried him.
Bray Wyatt's coming back too. There's talk that he was backstage.
There's always talk.
I think he'll come back.
I think that there's a high probability, but if they were to do it right, I would do it at like a Halloween Havoc style deal.
Yeah. I think that they're probably going to do it. Maybe Clash of the Champions. I got to feel like a rush. And if they do, I think they're going to put him with Judgment Day.
So here's the hard truth and reality to how many people you can bring back.
Oh yeah. Man.
You only have so much time on TV, right? You only have one main eventer. You only have one mid-card spot. You only have if you bring in all of this released talent, then suddenly you're spending a lot more money.
Yeah.
You're not making more money because the ratings really, I mean, sure, they've been up, but they haven't been up to where it's like, this is bringing in dollars. But then the other side is that, like, you're going to upset the people that actually stuck around.
Yeah.
And did sign those contracts. Like, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are probably about to be pushed to the fucking moon.
Oh, hell.
I mean, in fact, Elias, I think, is about to be pushed to the fucking moon because the whole throwing him into the power bombing him into the ring is going to have Ezekiel out, and Elias is probably going to come back angry.
Yeah. And another, like you said, the Sami Zayn. I've always liked Sami Zayn's work, but I watched him on the Stone Cold thing, and that just gave me more insight. I never actually heard him talk. I've never seen an interview with him, and just to see where his mind's at, and where I knew where he came from. I watched him when he was in ROH and when he came through all that. But just he's like the match with Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. If that's the best, hey, I was at WrestleMania. I'm like, he's just so cool. He's like, hey, if I don't win a title, I got that match from with Johnny Knoxville. And it's just his mindset. He's so cool, dude.
Well, and think about that. I mean, like we talked about that when it came to Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, we talked about it for 2 fucking years. This guy doesn't get pushed correctly. He doesn't get pushed correctly. Yes. And then he's in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania against Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who you are. You get a match against Stone Cold Steve Austin 20 years after Stone Cold Steve Austin says, I'm not wrestling anymore.
And he picks you.
And he picked him.
Yep.
Like there's no way that Stone Cold sits there and says, all right, the money's perfect. I don't care who the opponent is. Fuck that. And I know this is...
He gifted him the stunner, and then he picked him for that WrestleMania match. 2.0.
Yeah, I was getting ready to get called up.
Something else. Yeah, it's not.
Well, Carmelo Hayes probably getting ready to get called up.
I think. Who do you think? You think he'll get called up first, or you think Solo Sikoa will get called up first, or Grimes? These.
So Carmelo Hayes is probably the most ready to be called up, except maybe Cameron Grimes, in all of NXT. Like there are guys like Grayson Waller who are going to make an impact as soon as they come up, but still need work. So it's great that he got a little bit of a rub from AJ Styles back in the day. But, right now, I would love to see Bobby Roode in NXT.
He's my NXT champion on my video game. I made him NXT champion.
I would love to see Bobby Roode as NXT.
But he's come back with the glorious, with the robe.
Absolutely. And I think that's why we haven't seen him. I would love to see Shotzi Blackheart back in NXT as Shotzi Blackheart. Although if you're going to call Ciampa the Blackheart, you can't call her Shotzi Blackheart.
I think that's why they.
I don't know. I think it's just Vince only likes one name people. Whatever.
I want to see Nikki Cross get back to being the wild woman Nikki Cross is.
The only problem that I have with that is that
I don't like the superhero shit.
Well, yeah. I'm okay with her finally getting knocked in the head too hard one time and then coming back as a crazy woman. I'm fine with that. The problem you run into is that she's been on the main card for so long at this point.
No, send her back to NXT.
Yeah, I guess. You can't overflow NXT either because they just signed 14 new talents.
But I don't think like I said, we're not overflowing if we're doing trade-offs. Like I said, I want to send some veterans, and I'm sending everybody. Nikki Cross would be good to work with the women down there. Who else did we say? I mean, that's why they got the Apollo Crews. That was cool. He's good to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying send an influx. Just send a few as you send some people up. As you send, like you said, as you send 2 to 3 up, maybe send 1 down.
All right. So, last thing I want to say about NXT 2.0. You were talking about Top Dollar and Adonis possibly coming up, then being at SmackDown on Friday.
Yeah.
There's a big rumor that one Shawn Michaels has been tasked with contract negotiations with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae.
Hot damn.
And we all know how much of a Shawn Michaels fan Johnny Gargano is.
That's probably why they asked him to do it. Question. Totally. If they're going to, because we know Gargano is Mr. Wrestling. He's Johnny Wrestling, right? In theory, it isn't quite there yet. Do you think we get some version of the way so he can be under the Gargano learning tree a little longer to try to
I could see Johnny, Theory, and someone else being in like a 3-way dance match where Johnny the whole time is sitting there telling Theory that he's going to sit there and help him keep that money in the bank and everything else, and then he pins him. And then he goes, hey, you did good, kid, but, it's time to let Daddy take over. And nothing would make him more of a heel than doing that. But yet people would cheer it because they'd be like, fuck yeah, Johnny's got the money in the bank. But no matter who's got the money in the bank right now, you're not beating Roman Reigns.
No.
So unless, the rumor now is that like the reason why Karrion Kross is back is so that they can make the match a triple threat match and somehow put only one of the titles on the line. And I like
they're trying. They realize that there's they've got one dude who was part-time with the title for both.
Well, he wasn't part-time.
He's getting ready to
but then just as he wins that title, they renegotiate his contract. And it's like, what the fuck?
So I think they're going to try to split those belts. You think they're going to do the same for the tag or just the main belt?
I mean, tag teams, there aren't enough tag teams between the two shows.
So
I'm okay with them flip-flopping between two shows. I'm perfectly fine with that. In fact, I'd be perfectly fine if they did 3-way tag team matches every month or every pay-per-view where the storyline is that there's a team from Raw and a team from SmackDown always going up against the tag team champions.
Okay.
And then you have the SmackDown team beat up the Raw team one week because they're like, oh, you don't deserve that shot at that pay-per-view and blah blah blah, or a premium event or whatever the fuck they call them now.
Oh no, they're allowed to say wrestlers and wrestling again.
Well, that's because they're bringing in Johnny Wrestling at some point, right? Like you can't call him Johnny Entertainment.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you could. I mean, but that would be like that would be more like Johnny Mundo, wouldn't it? Johnny Entertainment.
Johnny Nitro.
Johnny Nitro. Johnny Dynamite.
Oh God.
See, and like now that we move on to Dynamite, we have 2 episodes of Dynamite to talk about. I really only want to talk about this.
Me too.
This one, which means we probably should get back to it rather than anything else. But the Johnny Dynamite, just talking about like oversaturation of talent, right? Like Tony Khan he's just got too many wrestlers under contract now.
It's on the foreign NWO type thing. They get them all on TV.
Yeah, they're all just gonna. Well, I mean, they already do that because they already do 6-way matches and everything else all the time.
Well, we're talking about Dynamite is AEW. Apparently, on Dark, there's a new faction. It's Vicky Guerrero. Did you see this?
No.
It's Vicky Guerrero.
No, I don't watch Dark.
I don't either, but it was on Twitter and it made me giggle. So, Vicky Guerrero was already managing
Nyla Rose.
And now she's also, since Nyla Rose has kind of made her little thing with Marina Shafir.
Okay.
So now Vicky Guerrero is like, I guess she's mentioned both of them, but she said you can now call the 3 of us the Beast of Burden.
Did you guys hear this laughter? Did you hear this?
The Beast of Burden. Oh God.
Chris Barrett just said AEW has over 100 talents signed to their roster. Well, WWE does as well, but the idea though is that AEW has Dark, Dynamite, Rampage. So I mean they do what, 2 episodes of Dark a week?
Yeah, something like
so
that.
I mean, like they have shows going all the time. That the question is, how are they making any money with Dark and everything else? Like I can't fathom that they're making enough off of YouTube revenue on.
I think they, like you said, they've oversaturated themselves. They've got so many talents. That's their overflow.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. So tell you what, we'll get back to Dynamite because that was last night. Let's jump into SmackDown.
Oh God. The only thing I really, really, really remember is
the end.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had the gauntlet match for the women, so we should talk about that because it was a massive display of the female talent, which did 2 things. It prepared them for the women's tag team tournament that they've got coming up, but it also highlighted exactly how good the female talent actually is in WWE, specifically on this episode of SmackDown, which ended with Shayna Baszler getting back to being the #1 contender.
I called that, but I just didn't think it was going to happen that soon. Remember, because we talked about they need to build her up. and da-da-da-da-da. They're like, fuck it.
Well, no, they built her up. You win a gauntlet match, you're pretty much a made person right there. You know, like, and the gauntlet match also still enhanced other people. It
Raquel Rodriguez fucking rocked it. I mean, she eliminated most of the people in there.
And see, that's the other thing when it comes to one of those matches is it's just like the Royal Rumble. It's who lasted the longest, who eliminated the most people, and who won are the three people that typically get the pushes after that, right? Yeah. And with these kind of matches, it's who lasted the longest, who eliminated the most people, and who won, right? Because it's almost never the person who lasted the longest and defeated the most people ended up winning. They almost always have her lose at the end.
I was thinking it was going to end up being Shayna and Natty. I was like, oh damn! But I was kind of hoping for that.
I was hoping that they were going to have Ronda come out and it was going to be Ronda versus Shayna at the end.
I told you I'm waiting on that one. I think they're holding off on that one.
And like, as much as I know that Ronda versus Becky is the money match, Ronda versus Shayna in the right kind of match is I mean, like, glorious.
Yes.
Glorious. So but there was that match, and then yes, we had Roman come down, running his mouth, talking about Drew because Clash of the Castle's coming up. Drew comes out, and all of a sudden the lights go out. And a giant crow is flying. And I'm thinking, it's gotta be Sting!
No. Oh, it's gotta be Kane.
Yeah, but you know, it's
Sting.
It's Sting! It's Sting! Did you so I know we're not talking about Dynamite right now, but we are talking about Sting. And did you hear Jim Ross sit there and go, do you see who it is, Tony? Yeah. Do you see who it is? And he's like, it's Sting!
That was hilarious.
But then the lights come back on and you see someone beating up
with a full head of hair.
Beating up Drew McIntyre, slamming him into the ring steps, doing all that stuff, and then just staring down Roman Reigns, who has a look on his face like, who the fuck are you?
The Scarlet puts the hourglass in the ring and just flips it, and Roman's like,
well, that's because they didn't make it seem like Roman's scared.
No. But
Roman had the entire bloodline around him, so why would he be scared in that situation, right? So, but Karrion Kross is back.
No.
And he's back in a way where he immediately made an impact.
Yes.
And you're looking at him going, how did Vince get that wrong?
Yeah. that was the Karrion Kross that was in NXT.
Except with hair.
Now, we talked about Sammy earlier, and I forgot that, I forgot about this.
WWE has a total of 260 contracted talent.
Who said that?
Chris Barrett.
Damn. Sami Zayn all night kept trying to get in to talk to Roman. And the Usos wouldn't let him in. He goes, hey, aren't I the honorarius? I want to talk to Roman. Yeah, you need to go to the truck and make sure the pyro goes off. And his music's right. And so he goes and comes back, and they still won't let him in. So he finally gets a little attitude, and finally one of them snapped. It's like, he's like, oh no, look, you didn't get it right. You can be part of da-da-da. And he's like, so I thought he was gonna like.
I think it's leading to the babyface turn of Sammy. Because I think Triple H knows that he's a white meat babyface. Mm-hmm. Whereas Vince, calling him up, immediately turned him heel and kept him heel his entire run. And when it first started, I was like, this isn't going to work.
Oh, he made it work.
But he's one of the three most entertaining people in WWE, like, bar none. So I absolutely love it. Love what they're doing with his character. Love. And anybody that thought that Triple H was just going to hit the reset button on storylines doesn't understand how he thinks. He knows he's got to play out certain storylines. Yes. He's got to get to certain spots so that way he can pay them off as best as he can or better. and then from there, then move on to new things. And obviously he's doing a little bit of both. He's throwing some new stuff in there. He's doing other stuff, but broadcasters include. Oh, okay. So broadcasters, analysts, and everybody else also under contract. Gotcha, Chris Barrett. So overall, though, I mean, like SmackDown, we don't really remember too much from it because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
that caught my attention.
I mean, Sammy's always gold. The Roman situation with Karrion Kross obviously caught everybody's attention. Shayna Baszler winning and being put right into a main event spot where she belongs. And don't be surprised if you see Asuka turn on Alexa Bliss during this tournament or whatever, and suddenly, like, although I do think that what they're really trying to do with the Raw side there is that they're trying to get this new faction over by putting them up against three of the best women's baby faces that they've got right now.
I think, like you said,
which we'll go ahead and
Alexa's not supposed to be there. That was supposed to be Becky.
I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Becky. Let's move to Monday Night Raw. Obviously, we started with Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. Not Dakota Sky. Dakota Sky was a porn star that passed away last year.
I know I messed up, dummy. She just kept going. It was just so cool.
It was, but she did seem to get a little rattled by the crowd because she kept going back to talking at the crowd, like shut up, dummies, shut up, dummies. You know, and that's probably just nerves from being off TV for so long and then coming back and being right in the spotlight, right? The idea that they're trying to get Dakota Kai and Io Sky over as quickly as possible. Io Sky obviously had just left NXT, but Dakota Kai was released.
Yes.
And, you know, obviously one of the people that Triple H has really worked hard with, just like who was her former tag team partner? Not Raquel, but the other one that kept having knee problems.
Yeah, Zoe Stark.
No, not Zoe Stark.
Oh.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Tegan Knox.
Oh, okay.
You know, Tegan Knox was also let go. So or she's hurt again. I don't know. But, like, you know, they were always such hard workers for NXT that, you know, like he kept them down there as long as he possibly could to keep them away from, you know, possible bad booking, right? Raw was wild. Tegan Knox. Thank you, Chris Barrett, for that one. The Mysterio Edge thing where he's like, Dom, can't you just understand that he's been my friend for 20 years? And he's like, Dad, I've been your kid for 25. It's like, no, you weren't. You were Eddie's for like 9. You were Eddie's kid for like 9 years.
That's what we're talking about. No, you weren't. You were Eddie's kid. For some of that. I didn't say $9 for some of that. You were Eddie's.
Yeah, you were Eddie's kid. Don't you fucking lie to us, Dominic.
Eddie was your poppy.
Eddie was your poppy. He even said, I'm your poppy.
I'm your poppy.
That's where the shirt came from.
But Rhea was wearing that. When she beat his ass, it was when I'll be.
Was she wearing the outfit?
You didn't see that?
No.
No, it was a couple weeks ago when they were doing Ray's celebration. When she busted the room and she pushed Aaliyah, and then she jumped Dominic. She had a "I'm your poppy."
Did she go like this?
No.
Oh, it's too bad.
Oh God.
So, I like the whole interaction where Dom's pissed off because I think what we're gonna end up with,
he's gonna turn on him.
Well, it was fake that he was all beat up, you know, so he can turn on him. And I would like to see him turn on him. And could you imagine all of a sudden he starts coming down? He's got like black eye makeup and everything, and he just like, you know, like all of a sudden he looks the role of like.
So does he face Ray? Or does he face Edge? Or both?
Why not both?
Yeah. Like
that little girl said, can't we have both? If they want to get Dominic over as like a heel,
by his dad.
Well, definitely. Well, hurt his dad.
Yeah.
Put his dad on the shelf for a couple months. Have him face Edge. Edge can go over in the matches. It's fine. But the idea is beat the shit out of his dad. Show that he's the dominant Mysterio. And then, of course, WrestleMania, you have the blow-off match, Dom versus Ray.
Dom, the dominant Mysterio.
You just have Dom Mysterio.
Oh.
Yeah, Dom Mysterio. On top of that, I mean, we got a great match between Ray and Finn.
Yes.
Like
until she came out,
just carrying him,
just threw him like a sack of potatoes.
Everyone got thrown like a sack of potatoes this past couple weeks. Like who was it that like just got thrown right at? Oh, it was Bobby Lashley threw Ciampa right into the Miz. Like, and in fact, I want to talk about that match. How do you, as a wrestling company, get someone over in 3 weeks or less and have them lose the big match? And I'm okay with him losing because.
But he made him look strong.
That's what I mean. Is they got him over even in loss.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that Vince struggled with. Like think about the entire time during the pandemic when Vince was sitting there having like Buddy Murphy go against Seth Rollins and go against Rey Mysterio, and he lost every single one of those matches, and we're still sitting there going, but Buddy Murphy's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Now we know Buddy Murphy's awesome, but they weren't getting him over.
Right.
Right? In this, Ciampa beat AJ Styles last week.
Yes.
Ciampa beat two other guys in the first match last week. Great. All of a sudden, he goes up against Bobby Lashley, and they make it seem like he's got a chance. Yeah. And we're all sitting there going, "Oh, he's a Triple H guy. Of course, he's going to win the match. Like this will send Bobby Lashley back up for the World Championship." Blah blah. Nope. And I'll tell you why.
I was thinking that was going to happen because I thought Ciampa was going to win the belt, and then Bobby was going to get mad. We talked about it and go after the money in the
contracts. Yeah. So here's what happened though. Instead, they elevated the U.S. title,
which they need to, because if they don't have a world title, they need to have some sort of main big title.
And I'll tell you, Gunther's doing fine with it on SmackDown, even by not wrestling, just by throwing Ludwig Kaiser out there.
Well, he's got to wrestle this week.
Oh, he does against Shinsuke Nakamura, and that is going to be a banger, dude. Yes. Like, I'm going to tell everybody right now, SmackDown this week, watching Gunther versus Shinsuke, those guys, okay, this is going to be the first time we get to see Strong Style in real action on Fox, and I'm not playing. Like, Triple H is going to let those two guys just chop the fuck out of each other.
Is tomorrow live, or they already taped it?
I don't know. Are they overseas?
No, they're here tomorrow.
Oh, then it's live. And we haven't decided if we're going yet or not.
No, right?
Are we going?
We still get tickets?
Yeah, there's tickets. Dude, it's Raleigh. There's always tickets. Every time I tell you that, you're like, no, they might sell it out. Mm-mm. I bet you can still get the $20 tickets all the way to like $80 tickets.
Okay, keep talking. I want to see.
Well, you're not going to find the $20 tickets there. You got to buy them at the box office.
Because I think they were $20 when I was looking here.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. Order 2 tickets. We'll go.
It's in the fucking nosebleeds, damn.
Yeah, but it's on camera side because they probably don't have the other side open.
How about 107, Mr. Shitson? Wait, okay.
How much?
53.
107?
Yeah. They have these open.
Dude, they got what's that one right there?
That's probably gonna be. It doesn't show.
It says they're available though.
No, why didn't it show me?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, anyway,
that much.
Row 4. Yeah, I don't like floor seats. I don't like that far back floor seats because I'm short.
$120 is what I'm looking at.
$120 ain't bad though.
That's true. But yeah, well, I guess we can still get tickets.
I told you we could still get tickets, and there's plenty of tickets available. It's not even like it's just a couple. Anyways, folks, main event, AJ Styles comes out during that match and actually, like, out of nowhere, phenomenal forearms Miz over the barricade, and then Miz didn't skip a beat. He went over the barricade and just ran away. Which set up the main event for the night. Solid match, not a banger or anything like that, but two solid hands giving a good match. I give the Miz credit for that, although I feel like now when you're in that main event spot on Monday Night Raw, you're gonna have to deliver. He delivered a B+.
Okay.
And that was probably AJ really delivering the B+.
Okay.
I think so. We all know that Raw's too long. Yes. Hell, I don't know if you saw the quote from Kevin Nash today, where he's like, every week you're asking someone to watch Avatar.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like
Titanic.
You're asking someone to watch Titanic or Avatar. It's exactly the two things that he mentioned there. And I don't have time for the Snyder Cut all the time, like that's a weekend. That's not Monday nights. So ultimately, like, you think about it, and it's.
You think they'll ever go back to 2 hours?
No, there's too much money, and you're not going to give up $150 to $200 million on your next contract to shorten it.
Yeah.
Now, if USA sits there and says we'll give you $1 billion to go 9 to 11, they go 9 to 11, right? But otherwise, no. That 3-hour block is USA's until USA doesn't want it anymore, right? I think you might start seeing first, like, let's say USA sits there and says, okay, we're canceling NXT because you can't get over 600,000 viewers. I could see the first hour being NXT.
Okay.
Just like, remember when they used to have that first hour of it was 205 Live for the first hour?
Yeah.
I could totally see them doing stuff like that because even if you did like a 205 Live first hour, you're getting people invested by having good wrestling for that first hour. Because like 205 Live will admit that there was never bad wrestling.
Yeah.
It's just nobody gave a shit about the stories, except when Enzo was on it. So I mean, like there's that, right? Like there's that side to it. Everything else, the fact that it's 3 hours long though, like if you want someone to watch from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock or 11:05, 11:07, whatever the fuck it goes to, because sometimes they do that overrun or whatever. When you want them to watch that long, you have got to deliver in the first segment. You've got to deliver in that mid segment, and you've got to deliver, and I mean deliver in that ending in the go home moment, and Monday night I don't think did that. Like, it was good.
It's better than it has been. Like I said,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's just when you need to deliver, you need to deliver.
I think that's too. Just Triple H still working through a lot of Vince's old stuff till he can get, what I'm saying? So I think it's going to get better because it's getting better.
Well, AJ versus Miz doesn't sound like something Vince would have done.
Yeah.
And I think it was a byproduct of the Ciampa versus Lashley stuff, right? But which of those two matches would have been better in that main event spot? Ciampa Lashley or AJ Miz?
Ciampa Lashley.
The only reason why I disagree, and I totally agree from the wrestling standpoint, because I think that was the best match of the night. The only reason why I disagree at all is because who are the bigger names?
Lashley's the big name. And
Lashley is, but Ciampa's not. Nobody knows Ciampa yet. Putting Ciampa in that mid-card, mid-level title match right there is a great display and shows how good he really is, right? And if you saw his WWE.com interview where he's like, I'm the greatest sports entertainer that's ever lived, and you're going to see that, Lashley, when I make you choke out or whatever, and I mean, he called himself a sports entertainer, which I thought was funny because it kind of sounded like the Jericho thing. Yeah. And I know that we got to move on, so I'm not trying to drag this, but you see what I mean.
Yeah.
and you agree now.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't think that there would have been anything bigger that they could have done in that spot unless they were doing like Street Profits versus the Usos again.
I'm tired of that. Didn't
I am too, except they put on such damn good matches. Yeah. It's like how many times did we see the Usos and the New Day?
They were good. Yeah, they're good matches.
Always good matches. The
cage match they did was awesome.
Well, yeah, but no, I'm also saying the Wyatt family and the New Day and the Wyatt family and the Usos. Like anytime those like it was almost like the Hardys, Edge and Christian and the Dudleys all over again, you know, because you had the one big set, you had two smaller sets of, and it was just always like just calamity more than anything else. All right,
here we go.
We got to get to it, right?
Yeah,
we got to get to it. Chris Barrett says you don't have to have big names in the main event on Raw. The first ever main event was Undertaker versus Damian Demento. Chris Barrett, there was a huge difference between what the old Monday Night Raw was and then Monday Night Raw in the Monday Night Wars going forward. It became a show where the main event did become something. Like when it first started, it was literally an unopposed wrestling program on Monday nights. So they basically just made it a uncut, uncensored version of WWE Superstars.
Agreed.
So where only once a month you'd have a major main event. Anyways.
Yes.
AEW Dynamite. We started with a coffin match between Darby Allin and Brody King,
which was way better than I thought it was going to be.
They have chemistry.
Yeah.
That without a doubt, those two men have chemistry. A coffin match at Quake by the Lake, Tino.
I think taking a skateboard with tats on it and dropping it in his face.
I'm gonna let you talk about this while I get myself a drink.
Dude, he took a skateboard with tats on the bottom of it and rubbed it in dude's face. Darby Allin, while yes, he's probably going to use his bump card up quicker than anybody else,
probably already has.
He is still the most. He's very entertaining, very athletic, and he does remind me of Jeff Hardy. A lot of Jeff Hardy. I see a lot of Jeff Hardy in Darby Allin. The match was good. They opened the coffin. Sting was in the coffin.
Sting!
With a baseball bat. Now, I'm waiting to see. Are we eventually going to have? Because this is I think the third time we've had a stare down between Sting and Malachi Black. So I'm waiting and wondering, maybe Sting in his prime in a match against Malachi. I don't know if I want to see us over 60-year-old Sting against a Malachi Black.
I'm going to tell you, if there's one wrestler on that roster that could actually carry Sting to a great match, might be Malachi Black. You weren't there when Jason and I saw Malachi versus Buddy Matthews when they did their end of a feud thing at Winston-Salem, but that guy can do anything.
Okay.
So I think he can make Sting look good in a singles match. Now, more likely, you get Malachi, Buddy Matthews versus Sting and Darby. And then Darby just kills himself again, because that's what he does. Darby Allin is on his second or maybe third bump card. I think he's borrowing Jeff Hardy's bump card right now.
Jeff Hardy doesn't need it right
now. Jeff Hardy's bump card. He just passed it off to him or something. I don't know. Maybe not even Jeff Hardy's. Maybe it's like any of those wrestlers that like, you know what, screw this, I'm done. Like they just passed him their bump cards. I'll tell you though, like, it's interesting to watch someone like Darby win this match because Brody King is so much bigger than him.
Yeah.
I mean, you try to tell me that Darby Allin, like they say he weighs in at like 205 or something. And there's no way. The dude literally has smaller ankles than like a toothpick. Like he just has, his legs are this round. Like that, there's nothing to them. So, I mean, he is the epitome of skipping leg day.
Every day.
Every day he skips it. But then he wins this match by choking out Brody King
with a chain.
With Brody King's chain. And the finish of the match was actually like very well done. Drops him, he falls into the coffin automatically closes, boom, match over. Like
slammed up.
But there were issues with some of the stuff. Like, for example, Buddy Matthews opens up the coffin and he's blocking Sting. And then on top of blocking him, so the audience, like from home, can't see it because the audience in the arena got to see it.
Yeah.
But the audience at home didn't get to see it. The audience at home, like, that's your moneymaker there, right? Like, so like, but Buddy Matthews also didn't look frightened by Sting. And you open up that coffin, it should be like, like what the, like anything like that would have made it look better. But the match was fun.
The Lucha Brothers and Andrade and Rush was a good match. That was I found the match.
Did you pull up the matches so that you can? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Good matches. I thought as matches go, they're going to be. I think it's going to be the Lucha Brothers and another tag team partner for trios against Rush's brother.
Wasn't it Lucha Brothers and because that's Penta and what's Ray Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll be with the new champion that they got. That's the Red Arrow.
Oh, no, you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, Bastard.
Oh, yeah.
Bastard Pack.
So, but I think I'm tired of them winning by taking the mask. I think that's getting a little old. That's how they keep winning the matches.
Well, when Tony Khan proves that he's Eric Bischoff, he'll actually make them put those masks up on the line.
So good. So that was a good match.
Jay Brone Swerve and Jay Brone Keith Lee.
Let's see. So that was Lucha. What other was a good one? Young Bucks try to convince Adam Page to be their partner. He's kind of like, well, you guys say that you were happy for me when I won the title, but you didn't come. You didn't say anything. You guys weren't there. These guys have been there. He goes, I'm not even going to be part of the trios. I'm going to just be in their corner. So it's going to be kind of weird. I can't be on your team and be in their corner. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, you know who their partner is.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Luchasaurus wrestled. I mean, Ricky Starks and Aaron Solo was a hell of a match.
Who was he against?
Aaron Solo from the Factory. But they used to be tag team partners back in the day, which made it interesting. Wardlow. So Sanjay Dutt, the big Holly reject.
You mean Veer?
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
it's not Veer.
That's not Veer.
Wait. Veer's not contracted by both companies.
No. And
is his last name Khan?
Maybe. Shut up. And Jay Lethal come out there and they're talking shit and they're like, "Yeah, won't you come out right now, Wardlow? Wardlow has beat up 20 security officers. Why do they think he's not going to come? There's only 3 of them in the ring." So Wardlow starts making his way down, and then all of a sudden, FTR's music hit. FTR comes up, they look at each other, and they rush the ring and proceeded to whoop that ass.
Well, now remember, Wardlow and FTR do have history because they were all part of the Pinnacle.
Forgot about that.
So it does make sense that when one of them goes babyface and the other two go babyface, that they all still like each other. right?
Yeah. So Danhausen comes out during the Ask Boys interview segment and says, "I will see you on Friday with the big bearded guy." Well, who the fuck's he talking about? And it's Redbeard. He's gonna oh shit.
Wait, Eric Redbeard?
Yeah, it's gonna be his tag team partner on. So it's gonna be Redbeard, and they're called Beardhausen or something stupid.
Well, of course.
And so Jade Cargill and Madison Rain. Where the fuck did Madison Rain come from? She's been on Impact. As a matter of fact, she fought on. Well, that was last week. I watched last week's Impact. She was on Impact. And then this week she was on Dynamite. What the fuck?
Now remember, Impact's taped. They announced last week on, actually I think it was Wednesday morning, that Madison Rain had signed with AEW to be the women's trainer.
Okay.
It makes it weird to me that she's showing up in wrestling though.
Yes. Maybe because Jade's just run out of people in between waiting for.
Well, but she got her ass beat, didn't she?
She got her ass beat, but she ended up beating Madison Rain.
No, that's what I mean. Is Madison Rain got her ass beat.
So, Tony Storm's the new number one contender because Chris Statlander's out again.
Yeah, knee surgery. That sucks too, because Statlander was really making a push. It doesn't matter though. They're not taking the belt off of Thunder Rosa anytime soon.
And now, what we're all here for. Moxley and Jericho.
Lionheart,
Chris Jericho.
And I don't know if you watched the video package, but they showed Alex Wright. They showed his New Japan matches.
Yep.
Like, I don't know where they got that film footage.
Because doesn't Vince owns the
We don't know.
WCW. Because Alex Wright was WCW. I did that.
Yeah, you gotta watch this thing because this thing is when it's up like this isn't super sturdy.
Alex Wright was WCW, so they had to.
Yeah, but they might have wrestled in Mexico or something.
Yeah,
but it was definitely Alex Wright on that video package.
As he used to do.
No, that was Disco Inferno.
No, Alex used to do that stupid dance.
Oh, yeah, he
did. Bad techno music.
Yeah.
Whatever he used to do, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like, that was 40 years ago, It feels like.
I think it was.
So Jericho came out and had his hair in the ponytail, but it wasn't up like it used to be.
He had the Lionheart trunks on. Jericho lost weight. Jericho looks good. He's in good condition.
Jericho's in great shape right now.
He looked like the old Chris Jericho.
He doesn't. He obviously doesn't look like the old Chris.
Well, you know what I mean.
Well, he does look like the old Chris Jericho because he's old.
What do you mean that he's in shape? He's not.
No. Yeah, they even talk like he's talked about that multiple times on different podcasts about how like when he because he had like a cardiac event when he was in the UK.
Didn't know that.
So yeah, so he they had to make sure. So okay, for those that don't know, I had quadruple bypass surgery. The everything after the surgery about recovery was trying to make sure that you got your O2 levels up to where they need to be. And this is why I think Jericho's cardio still isn't where it used to be because he definitely
is gassed.
He's gassed more often now. But still trying to go 40 minutes, which you got to give the old dude credit. But the idea here is that his O2 levels, he couldn't get them above the level that everyone said it was safe to travel and everything. This is why Fozzy canceled all those shows overseas because he couldn't sing. Because they were like, you don't have the oxygen to sit there and go out there and stand and do that for 2 hours or whatever. So you literally have to lay in a bed and, because what it was is he ended up having a blood clot and it was on his lung or something. So they needed to get his O2 stats up and, they didn't want to cancel any of the Fozzy shows or anything like that because they didn't want to say that he was in the hospital. They didn't want to, and of course he's overseas, so he's not even in the best hospitals that you could possibly be in, kind of thing, for what he's doing anyway. So So anyway, he basically, talked about how he had gained all that weight to go over to Japan because Japan likes bigger white guys more than anything else. They like the bigger wrestlers. And so the whole idea that he put on that weight, and he still wasn't out of shape. Like, he was still in wrestling condition and everything else, but I mean, he was probably drinking more beer than he drank in years to, get that belly. But now I think that he's on a strict regimen of his diet, and he's definitely still doing the DDPY. So I mean, like he probably doesn't do a lot of muscle training or weight training or anything like that because he doesn't really have to. But yeah, he definitely slimmed down. I think he said that he's now lighter than he was since WCW.
Oh damn.
Which is great because I mean, dude's got abs again.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't have Edge abs or even Christian abs. Like, those two guys, I don't know what they did. I think they just sucked shit out, like hooked up a Hoover or something, like whatever. But like Edge and Christian have like Finn Balor abs.
Yes.
And I saw a TikTok today about a guy that was training, and his first day was the same day that Pat McAfee showed up for his first day. And he goes, I knew me and Pat were going to be such good friends because Finn Balor walked in, and Finn Balor goes walking by just wearing the leather jacket and having his abs out. And Pat's just staring. And he finally looks at me and goes, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Finn Balor? Yeah. He's a former Universal Champion." He's like, "No, that dude hasn't had a carb in like 12 years. And I think now when you look at Jericho obviously is on a diet like that where he's not intaking carbs. And I got to tell you, man, like, I've been eating better for a while. And then last night I was like, fuck it, I need a pizza. So I ordered Domino's, right? I ate that Domino's and I was like, oh my God. I ate 2 slices and I was like, what the fuck, man? I weighed myself this morning. I was half a pound up. And I'm like, I didn't eat anything else all day. I ate 2 slices of pizza. But half a pound up. And I'm drinking a lot more water now too, But anyways, Moxley Jericho.
The first 5 minutes of the match, he pulls out his earring. And that's how he busted him open.
If there's one thing that I would criticize AEW for, it is their excessive use of blood. Because they did it in the first match. They did it in the last match. The coffee match.
Yeah, when he did.
I mean, Brody King was busted wide open. Like,
because he scraped his fucking forehead with tacks.
But like the mat by the end of the Jericho Moxley match, God. It was just
throw it away.
I mean, it looked like it had grape juice poured all over it. Like I did not need to see that. Disco gave it to Jericho. And Chris Barrett said beer is 1,000,000% contracted to both companies. And I know he doesn't say 1,000,000; it says 10,000%. But this match, by the way, like, it was everything that you would hope it would be. Jericho was gassed.
I fell asleep on it last night. I had to wake up today and watch it.
It probably went a little long.
Yeah.
But you're not going to tell the top 2 guys in your entire company that they don't get their time.
It started at 9:30.
And I think at this point, a 22-minute Jericho match is about how long he can keep it. Yeah. But he brings in the belt, wants to hit him. Aubrey stops him.
He pulls off the turnbuckles.
Sammy throws him a baseball bat.
Overthrows it.
Overthrows the baseball bat. And at the end of the match, Moxley chokes him out.
After he goes he hits the ring post.
Effect.
No, it hit the ring post and busted himself open.
Yes.
That's how he got busted open.
Yes, but he did hit the Judas effect. But right after he hit the Judas effect, he fell flat on his butt and stared at Moxley
because he was gassed.
Yeah, but come on, man. You're you're the last survivor of the Heart Dungeon. You don't just go for the you don't just try to fall forward and put an arm over him.
That's what I thought.
I mean, that's what I would do, right? Moxley kicks out. We get the real Walls of Jericho.
Oh my God.
The Lion Tamer. I'm sorry, the actual Lion Tamer.
Get the Walls of Jericho, because they said, "What is it?" Because we just turned him. What's he gonna do? We gotta wait to see where he puts his knee. And I didn't. Yeah, when the Boston Crab is the Walls of Jericho,
right?
But when he puts his knee in your back and leans that,
when he puts it on your neck, and he retches you, you know it's the Walls of Jericho. I'm sorry, the Lion Tamer. And he did put the Lion Tamer on him. I don't remember him going, "That's right, Daddy."
No, he didn't put his foot on his chest and do that. That'd have been awesome.
See, I mean that's
a Lionheart thing to do.
But then he chokes him out, and then the Jericho Appreciation Society comes out and goes to beat down Jon Moxley.
The BBC comes out.
The BCC.
BCC, sorry.
The
BBC.
The Combat Club.
Yeah.
The Blood Pool. The
Blood Pool Combat Club.
Is it Blood Pool?
Something. Blood something.
Anyways, yeah. The Blackpool Combat Club. I'm thinking Rob Liefeld.
Yeah.
You know, X-Force titles. I got X-Liefelds right here.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they come out. Claudio's sitting there throwing people around. The both sides are going back and forth, and then all of a sudden, look in my eyes. When Jericho puts on the Lion Tamer, that's really Stu Hart manifesting himself in Jericho's body. Yeah, he's just, I'm gonna give you the stretch. I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna do this. I want to do this.
I'm gonna do this. So CM Punk comes out. Still looks like he's limping a little bit.
Yeah, but he did a little hop on his one foot. I love the fact that CM Punk is standing in the ring looking at Moxley. And Moxley's got his back to him. He's still talking to people. And then he does this. He praises God.
Well,
then he stands up.
I like that he just kept looking at someone in the stands, and he's like, fuck him. I don't care who's back here.
He stood up with the belt in the face to face, and he stepped back.
Yeah, now and then when he left the ring, you know, they did the and then they tried to do the Rock Hogan, you know, where one looks one way, one looks the other, and then they look the other, and they didn't get it right, you know, but like they tried, and then Moxley goes to leave, and totally shoulders him. Now, this is where
I've noticed too. Before you start, I've noticed too in the past couple of weeks, every time. And even Regal on commentary, and even now JR's doing it too, where they say interim, they're like champion, because Mox is like, I'm a champion, fuck this interim shit, you know. And then JR kind of, no, he is the champion. There's something, he is the champion, and Regal saying it too. So I'm wondering, and CM Punk. So I thought they had two belts. I thought when Moxley won that belt, it was a different belt. Punk didn't come down with a belt.
He didn't, but in that situation, would you come running down with a belt in your hands or around your waist?
A weapon.
Or would you sit there knowing that you're just going to throw them bows? You know, so now I would assume when they announced the ladder match between the two of them to unite the titles, because I expect it to be a ladder match.
Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon.
I expect both of them to wear one down, and then to actually do the raising ceremony and everything else to put them up there. If they don't, they are missing a massive opportunity.
Yes.
And a really cool moment for that Chicago fan base, right? Or Vegas fan base.
Well, they might already have them above the ring. Neither one might come out with
No, they should both be able to wear their belt down to the ring. You know, and otherwise, if they only have it already up there, then there's only going to be one.
Yeah, okay.
You know, but I would let them both wear one down.
I think saying hold too, because that's still symbolic of you snatching down both belts.
Yeah, but you're only going to be champion. You're not going to be interim, and you're just going to be champion at that point. So one belt suffices.
The Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels, there was two belts.
Was there?
Yeah. Sean grabbed both belts.
Yeah. Okay. Either way, I think that's why you didn't see CM Punk come running down with a belt. At the same time,
who wins that match? Who's the face? Are they both going to be faces?
Well, I think with Moxley sitting there giving the finger, he's portrayed as the heel, especially with who got to finish in the ring at the end of the night.
CM Punk. And he knows how your boy Claudio came down and was like, yeah, and just hugging him, like, yeah, and just looking back, laughing. I'm like, I wonder.
So I don't think you have a heel in that match. I think it's Hogan Warrior.
Hogan Rock.
Hogan Rock, there was a heel.
Oh yeah, true.
Just by the end of the match, there wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, because that Toronto crowd was 100% behind Hogan. So maybe there was a heel still in that match. It was just The Rock.
I think that's when The Rock turned. Because he came in a face. He turned.
No, because he held up Hogan's hand at the end of the match. But anyway,
who wins that match?
I would think that by giving Moxley the rub on Jericho here, that CM Punk beats Moxley.
Okay.
I think that you didn't put the belt on CM Punk to take it off of him because of an injury.
Yeah.
And they didn't take it off of him because of an injury. So I don't think they take it off of him now at this point. And I think that by giving Moxley, like I said, the Jericho rub again, because now he's 2-0 against Jericho in AEW. By giving him that rub, I think that's kind of saying, hey, you're still probably the top babyface here, but you were already, moving on to like tag team matches with Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson and whatever. So it's tough because now they also have Claudio in that group.
Yeah.
So I mean, that group is so stacked, and if you notice, suddenly their black T-shirt with white writing on it seems not NWO symbolic, but definitely symbolic of like any time they've gone that route with that type of T-shirt. Like I want that T-shirt.
It's a nice T-shirt.
I would prefer it if it was black and red, and it was like a bloodstained red.
Okay.
But like I'm down with a black and white T-shirt anytime. So, anyways, I don't really have anything else, Tino.
Me neither.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull some music up. You go ahead and you tell everybody.
Thank you guys for tuning in as always. We want to say thank you to, well, first of all, let's give you our handles. You can find him on the Twitter machine at Podcheck. I'm HoodieFan91 for Potsy and Tino on Twitter, Potsy and Tino Show on Facebook. On the Instagram, he is Rob Potsy Podcheck. He is Rob Podcheck, and he is Junior High Horse. On the Insta, I'm Messi Tino. On the TikTok, he is Rob Potsy. You're Rob Podcheck, right? Is it Potsy? Just Rob Podcheck on the
Rob Potsy Podcheck
on the TikTok. Each and every week, we're right here on the Pots and Pans Network on the YouTube. Please give us a like and a thumbs up, and please subscribe. And also buy our shit. I hadn't said that in a couple of weeks. We also want to say thank you to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling songs, our theme song. You can buy that on iTunes for 99 cents, 99. And until I'm always
why do you even do
99. Until next week, folks. We're signing off. Macho Man. Thinking.
We plan to be back here at our regularly scheduled time.
Can you dig it?
And maybe if anybody goes out to the Raleigh SmackDown, you may see us out there tomorrow.
Maybe.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Deuces.